It's 6 p.m. here in Seoul. I'm Shin-Yoon, bringing you the latest. Now, following the outbreak of violence between Israel and Hamas over the weekend, which left over 1,000 dead, global attention is turning to the possible impact on the global economy. Oil prices have already shot up amid the uncertainty in the Middle East. Moon-Hyun has the details.
The violence in Israel and Gaza over the weekend has sparked concern among the international community about the possible ramifications of a larger conflict in the Middle East. Palestinian militant group Hamas launched a series of attacks at Israel on Saturday, killing over 700 people and taking others hostage. Of these, more than 260 deaths were from a festival near the Gaza Strip, with 3,000 people in attendance to celebrate the Jewish festival of Sukkot. In retaliation, Israel launched airstrikes against targets in the Gaza Strip, with the Israeli government formally declaring war to take mighty vengeance on Hamas. The Israeli ambassador to the United Nations condemned the Hamas attacks in his address to the Security Council meeting on Sunday.
What we are witnessing are war crimes, blatant, barbaric war crimes, slaughtering civilians, abusing hostages, taking babies from their mothers. There are no words to describe such savagery.
Countries around the world are responding to the conflict by ensuring the safety of their nationals, and some are showing support for Israel. The United Nations pledged military ships and fighter aircraft squadrons to the region, and Germany's lawmakers are discussing whether to halt development projects in the region in the wake of the attacks. Others are weighing the possible economic risks that come with a war in the region. Oil prices jumped by more than $3 a barrel in Asian trade on Monday, breaking the downtrend of oil prices last week, which had seen the biggest decline since March. The attacks pose a threat to the US-backed attempts at normalization of Saudi Arabia-Israel relations, which would have raised oil output. And the possibility of Iran also getting involved in the conflict has raised alarm for oil prices, which have already been affected by the war in Ukraine. Moon-Hyun, Arirang News.
South Korea's presidential office is also keeping a close eye on the situation in the Middle East. According to South Korea's Yonhap News Agency, National Security Advisor Cho Tae-yong is receiving regular briefings and assessing how the conflict between Israel and Hamas militants could affect Seoul's own economy and security. The top office said the recent attack may disrupt Washington's efforts to help Israel normalize relations with Saudi Arabia. This could also impact South Korea, a key ally to the U.S., which also had plans to confirm large-scale projects in Saudi Arabia and the UAE by this month. Officials also reiterated how protecting the 930 Korean nationals living or traveling in Israel is a top priority. Up till Sunday, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has verified no Koreans were hurt or taken hostage. As of now, the option of mobilizing military transport planes isn't being considered, given that the international airport in Tel Aviv is still operating. Instead, a special travel advisory has been issued, urging nationals to leave via a third country. The death toll is also climbing in Afghanistan following powerful earthquakes that hit the western part of the country on Saturday. Taliban officials on Sunday confirmed that at least 2,400 people have died and more than 9,000 are injured. Figures may be higher as rescue operations are still underway, and the country has seen back-to-back aftershocks with magnitude surpassing 5.5. On Saturday, a 6.3 magnitude earthquake hit 40 kilometers northwest of the city of Herat, known as Afghanistan's cultural capital. Extreme tremors devastated at least 12 villages, causing thousands of mud brick houses to collapse. The UN has called for immediate help and medical supplies as Afghan hospitals are struggling to treat the injured from what's being called the deadliest natural disaster the country has seen in decades. Here in Korea, every October 9th is Hangeul Day, a national holiday dedicated to celebrating the creation of the Korean alphabet. An official celebration ceremony was held in the city of Sejong to mark 577 years since the first document, called Hunminjeongeum, explaining how to read and understand the Korean alphabet, was published. It's the first time the official celebration has taken place outside of the capital, and the Minister of the Interior and Safety, Lee Sang-min, as well as the Second Vice Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism, Jang Mi-ran, attended. They were joined by other Korean linguists along with around 1,000 civilians. Officials at the celebration highlighted the potential Hangeul has in becoming a leading global language, especially in the digital era. They cited how companies around the world are actively including Korean as one of the languages they provide in their AI and digital tech-geared services. Another way to enjoy Hangeul Day is by going to the National Hangeul Museum. My colleague Int'l went herself to show us how we can enjoy today's national holiday.
Today is Hangeul Day, which celebrates the dissemination of the Korean alphabet annually on October 9th. The Ministry of Culture commemorates Hangeul Day with meaningful events including musicals and traditional performances running from October 4th until the 10th. Visitors can also enjoy a special exhibition built around Hangeul, a song written in Hangeul in the late Joseon dynasty.
We've held a contest where people create drawings using Hangeul, and the award-winning pieces, which portray the theme of pure Korean, are put on display.
It was so much fun making these works of art on Hangeul Day.
Today, Hangeul is praised as one of the most scientific alphabets in the world. The exhibition 훈민정음, the design of a writing system beyond millennia, is an exhibition that shows King Sejong's efforts to create a country in which everyone could read and write. In 1443, King Sejong created 훈민정음, a basic writing system. 3 years later, in 1446, he published the manuscript 훈민정음 that depicted the purpose and principles behind the system. Visitors can view all 33 pages of the 훈민정음 in acrylic panels. King Sejong states in the manuscript that he created the writing system as it was pitiful to see the people using borrowed Chinese characters that do not match the Korean language or convey people's intentions properly.
Here at the National Hangeul Museum, visitors can learn about the beauty and logic of Hangeul. By turning the pages of this interactive book, you learn about how the Korean alphabet system works.
Hangeul is known to be the only alphabet in the world whose creation was recorded in a book. 훈민정음 is a state-designated national treasure, which is also listed on UNESCO's Memory of the World Register.
The most fascinating thing so far is the history of the Korean alphabet and the king who designed the alphabet. I wasn't aware of the history at all of the origin of the Korean language, and I've started to get a little bit more information now.
Today will be an opportunity to think about how Hangeul has transformed the lives of Koreans and other people around the world who speak Korean. Int'l, Arirang News.
The biggest Asian Games in history came to a close on Sunday with a celebration to round off more than 2 weeks' worth of competition. The closing ceremony showcased a digitally projected torchbearer and was attended by Chinese Premier Li Chang. South Korea finished third on the podium with 42 gold medals, behind Japan in second place and China in first. While the Asian Games had originally been scheduled for 2022, the postponement of the Games due to the COVID-19 pandemic meant that this was the first time it had been held in 5 years. The next Asian Games will be held in 2026 in the Japanese city of Nagoya. Thanks for watching Arirang News on this Monday. Join us again tomorrow at 9 a.m. for our first news coverage of the day on what's happening here in Seoul and around the world.